Now it's time to take a look at my favorite genus. This is the Brachypelmas. This one here is the larger of the two that I own, the Brachypelma albopilosum, the Honduran curly hair. And this one's about 4.5 inches. One of the first ones I got back in 2011, and it was only about 2 inches then, maybe even a little smaller, and a female. So I will have her around for hopefully 20-something years. They live a good long while. So they're very cute with their curly hairs, aren't they? Color-wise, they're not very striking, but they make up for it with the copper-colored carapace and all those cute little curly hairs. I call these guys the teddy bear of the tarantula world. Alright, let's take a look at my juvenile version of this one. And here is my smaller Brachypelma albopilosum, Honduran curly hair, juvenile. This one's about 2.5 inches. Now this one is a male, and he's very sweet, just like my female. Very handleable, at least for now anyway. So yeah, just pretty much a miniature version of what you just saw. There you go. Aren't they adorable? And while I'm here, I'm going to do some maintenance, clean the poo, fill up the water dish. And I don't think I see any food boluses around. Well, there might be one right there. But yep, tour videos, perfect opportunity to do some maintenance while you're at it. Alright, let's move on to a different brachy. Here is my Brachypelma emilia. Let's see, what's the common name? I never can remember. The Mexican red leg. I get all the red legs, stuff mixed up. But yes, my emilia. This one was injured in a molt that did not molt well. So when I was trying to remove the molt, I may have damaged one of the legs in the process. But still alive, still feeds. So it worked out. Hopefully the tarantula will be perfectly fine with the next molt. But there we go. And I'm going to give this one some more water. I'm really looking forward to watching this one grow and looking at that neat triangular looking mask on the carapace. It's not showing yet. Hopefully it will soon. There's that one. I've been wanting one of these for a long time. Alright, let's see what else I got. Here is my Brachypelma klassi, the Mexican pink. Another one I've been really wanting in my collection. And I'm really happy to finally have one, but since they're so expensive, I could really only afford to get a baby. But it'll be fun watching them grow, even though they're pretty slow growers. But yeah, this one, just like the emilia, is about no, I'd say 1/2 inch now. So yeah, there's the klassi, doing great. And let's look at some more. Here is my Brachypelma smithi. Although it appears that it's had a name change to the Brachypelma hamorii, the Mexican red knee. Probably the most well-known tarantula in the hobby. One that you will see in movies quite a bit. along with the Grammostola porteri. This one is shown quite a bit in films. But yes, it's one of the most sought after spiders as well. This one needs to molt for me. I would say this one is about 2.5 inches, about the same size as my smaller albopilosum. I don't have a gender on this one yet, but doing really well. Another one that I tend to handle fairly often. Alright, we got more brachy's. Here's my Brachypelma albiceps, the Mexican golden red rump. A lot of these brachy's, of course, look about the same when they're this small. So I really have to label my containers when it comes to looking at these guys. When they're this small, they're all just that brownish color, you know. But I'll look forward to the carapace turning that cream color, and the reddish hairs on the abdomen will be nice, and those black legs. It'll look very beautiful. This one is about, actually this one is 2 inches, I'd say. This one molted not too long ago. And this one, unlike the emilia, had a very good molt. So, there's that one. Alright, I have one more brachy to show you. Here's my female Brachypelma vagans, the Mexican red rump. One of the first tarantulas I've owned. Doing really well. I'd say this one's about 4.5 to 5 inches. And very skittish. Has thrown up some threat postures before. I had to remove her hide because she went hiding in her hide. So in order to see her, I had to take her hide away. But she's doing great. Had her for a while now, and I've been very happy with her, despite her hair flickiness and her skittishness. I've only held her maybe a couple of times. She's not really that handleable though. She's just too skittish for that. Too runny. Just threatened to bite. Don't want to risk it. But there she is. Alright, so how many Brachypelmas do I have? Let's see. It's my favorite genus, so obviously I'm going to have several of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait, I have one more. I have a baby version of this species right here. Let's take a look at the baby. And here is what my baby, only 1/2 inch, actually I'd say 1/4 inch, Brachypelma vagans Mexican red rump looks like. Completely forgot about that one. Little bitty tiny thing. Very runny too. Well, before this one gets too difficult to hunt down, we'll just leave it at that. Alright. Alright, that was 8 Brachypelmas. Now we're going to move on to the Chilobrachys genus. This species here is the Chilobrachys Kaeng Krachan, the Thailand blue. And like all Chilobrachys, they love to web. These like it on the damp side. So I got some humidity going in there. But yeah, this one's out yeah, I catch this one out in the open quite a bit, despite it hiding in there quite a bit also. This one molted not too long ago, so this one's now about 1.5 inches long. Doing really well. And I'm sure this one's going to have a huge attitude like the Chilobrachys usually do. These guys grow up to be quite large and will be kind of an overall darkish looking spider. Not too exciting looking, but still a cool spider nonetheless, being a Chilobrachys and all, and this one's a large one. So I'll look forward to watching this one grow. And this one is unsexed. The molt didn't come out very well. So we'll have to wait. Alright, let's check out another one. I had to poke this one out with my paintbrush. This is the 2-incher Chilobrachys dyscolus, the Asian Smoky. And you keep them just like you do the Kaeng Krachan. And this one's dried out, so I gotta add some humidity to it. But yes, this one has already thrown up a threat posture before it bolted into this size right here even. So yes, this one will definitely be feisty, as all Chilobrachys usually are, but this one will probably be a holy terror. Remove your paintbrush now. There we go. Now you can go back into your hut. But plenty of webbing as usual. Always flips over its water dish. That's just typical. Yeah, this one is kind of brownish color right now with kind of like a dark bluish gray tint to it. Really cool. Alright, let's move on to my final Chilobrachys. Here's my Chilobrachys fimbriatus, the Indian violet. This one's my favorite one of the Chilobrachys. I love the pattern on their abdomen, and they are just awesome. This one has webbed the most. Of course, it's probably the largest one of the three. But yes, definitely a huge webber, as you can see. I had to poke this one out. Usually this one's out in the open quite a bit. But there we go. Oh yeah. But as you can see, it's got places to go down and hide as well. Alright, that's 3 Chilobrachys. Time to move on to a different genus. Alright, this is my Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens, the green bottle blue. This one is about 2 inches. Still in its sling coloration. But as you know, as they get older, those legs are going to turn a very beautiful blue. The carapace will be green, and the abdomen will be a solid reddish orange color. They will get rid of that pattern on the abdomen there. But definitely one of my favorites because not only of the way they look, but they also web a whole bunch like the Chilobrachys do. And these guys eat like crazy. They typically eat like crazy like your Acanthoscurrias do. Yeah, hair flicky and skittish, but not really too defensive. With these guys, keep it on the dry side. But this one always, of course, webs over its water dish, so we'll need to fill that up. But there's that one. Green bottle blue. I had one once, but it was a male, and it matured out and then it died. So I'm really hoping that this one will turn out to be a female. Alright, let's move on to a different one. Here's my Cyclosternum species Machalla, the Peruvian peach collard. Doing fine. This one's about 2 inches as well. Has that mirror patch on the abdomen there. This one is very skittish and very runny. Very, very camera shy. But it's nice to have this one added to my collection. John 3800 has one of these, and his is very defensive. So we'll see if mine ends up turning out that way. Yes, another very nice one to have. Beautiful. Alright, let's move on to another genus. Alright, now we're moving on to the Cyriopagopus genus. This is the sulawesi black. Right now this specimen's about 2 inches. But these guys can get up to be about 9-10 inches. Very large arboreals. They're very comparable to the Lampropelma violacopes. Very much like them. You keep them the same way, they get about the same size. Very fast arboreals. This one used to burrow a lot more, but it's starting to become more like an arboreal here lately. But it still likes to hide behind tree bark, just like with the Cyclosternum. They seem to like to do that. But so there's that one. And doesn't really eat on camera for me, unfortunately. Very secretive. Sorry about that, my battery died. But there wasn't much left to say about this one anyway, except you want to keep these guys on the humid side. Substrate to burrow in, but also a way for them to climb. It was very good for this species. Alright, let's move on to my second Cyriopagopus. I am extremely happy that I caught this one out in the open for a change. Normally this one is burrowed way deep in there, but has come out to say hello because it's like she's psychic. She knew that I wanted to show her off. Here's my Cyriopagopus lividum, the cobalt blue. And with these guys, you want plenty of substrate for them to burrow in and keep it on the damper side, but I keep half of the enclosure damp and the other half dry, and actually made the burrow on the dry side. But this is my female. I got her as a subadult. Now I believe she's an adult. Let's see, how big would she be? She's about 4.5 inches. These guys don't get to be that big, but very beautiful with those blue legs. Gorgeous tarantula. It's teas that you really wish wouldn't hide so much because they're so gorgeous. But highly, highly defensive. You definitely need to respect these. So yeah, this is my girl, and she is definitely no exception when it comes to defensiveness. She readily shows that. If I were to touch her, she would spin around very quickly and throw up a threat posture. But since she's being nice and letting us take a look at her today, I'm not going to do that. So there you go. And I see she needs more water, so I'm going to do that. And I got to clean food bolus out. So yeah, got to take care of some maintenance here. But yeah, I really love that circular looking burrow that she made, all webbed up down in there. That's so cool. Alright, well that's all of that genus that I have. Let's see which genus is next. I'm afraid that this segment of the genus Ephebopus is going to be a little disappointing because they are major pet holes. My uatuman here, the emerald skeleton, is no exception. I rarely see this one out, but as you can see, the poop there, it comes out just when I'm not around to see it. But it's down there and I see it, but unfortunately it's not coming out on camera despite the light, because it's way deep in there. But it is a kind of like a light brown color that has a greenish, a light green sheen on the abdomen. It's beautiful. It's a shame you can't see it. But yeah, I just try to keep that's dried out over there, so I'd like to keep half of it damp over here and the rest of it dry. But it seems to do well, and it made a really cool looking tube web all the way down. So yeah, this is just kind of a pretty much a pet hole, only if I'm lucky, except when I'm lucky enough to catch it in the open, but I pretty much have to get up out of bed in the middle of the night to get lucky like that. Yes, so let's move on to my others.